Hello, Humin. How are you? Abhishek, good to see you. Prince, good morning, dear. Smita, good to see you. It's nice and foggy and a little cool, like if it's 6 o'clock in the morning. However, it's 11:30 or so. Hello, Armin. Good to see you here. Debbie, good to see you here. Varzer. Hello, Varzer. Is it the first time you're here, Varzer? I don't recall the name, but perhaps I don't remember. Or maybe you have. So, while it takes a few minutes for others to show up, in the meantime, Varza, you have. Okay then, my bad. I'm glad you're here. So, we are going to take a relaxing discussion about your questions about breakups, emotional challenges, concerns, relationship between thoughts and consciousness, desire, ego, and fears, how they relate to our lives, how they form our interaction with day-to-day challenges through this journey of life. So, have your tea or coffee or whatever non-alcoholic you're into, and let's have an hour of happy and positive discussion, and we go from there. Today I chose coconut walnut milk, just a little bit, and unsweetened cocoa powder, and of course hot water. So it's cozy, it's nice in this weather, which is really fresh. It's one of those mornings that you just want to, take off, walk by the ocean, just maybe sit and meditate a bit, then go for tea somewhere, or on the way, if there's a place for some simple, bread and cheese or egg and butter, tea, breakfast type of thing, honey and stuff like that, local bread, simple thing. I remember when I would, in wintertime, would travel with my mom to north of Caspian Sea, north of Iran, where my father had a big, very nice orange field, and we had a villa there. And so mom and I would get up early morning with that fresh environment by the mountain and the ocean on the other side. I would go right to the ocean side and meditate. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30, where the sun hadn't come up yet. So you close your eyes when it's dark, and when you open after your meditation, the sun is just about to come up, and it's like you came from a different world. Amazing experience. And of course, then early morning, you go to nearby village, buy fresh bread and cheese, and you come back, and it was just an amazing sight. Very tranquil. So it's always good to spend some time with the nature and simple things, just a little bread and tea and cheese or whatever it is that you're into for breakfast, a little walk on the beach, and think and contemplate and realize that there's a beautiful world out there, and all the challenges that are created mostly are in our own mind. We create all these perceptions, illusions, And then we believe it because it happened in our own mind. And how could our own mind, which is inside our body, and the thought that appears and is created inside our body, we consider it, how could that be untrue? How could that be a lie? Because it's in us. We trust ourselves. But lo and behold, that thoughts are not you. Thoughts are just, have no intelligence. You're supposed to figure it out if this is something credible or not. In that way, most of your problems actually goes away because you figured out this is just a thought, not an actuality. You're the one, by focusing on illusions, which thoughts mostly are, by focusing on an illusion, you turn it into actuality, reality, at least in theory, and then you believe it, and you actually think it's actual. But that, again, is a thought. You thought it's actual, but it's not. It's still that nonsense that has no roots, and you happen to give it truth by believing in it. So understanding where thoughts come from and how to deal with them saves you lots of trouble of having to deal with anything of that sort. So, now let's see. Prince says, are you still able to taste each flavor properly when you mix them together? Well, when you mix coconut and almond milk, which is already mixed, a little bit with the cocoa and water, you're not really trying to taste each one of them separately. That's why you mix them, to create something new. That's called, supposedly, cocoa drink, hot chocolate, so to speak. But in fact, you can. Yes, you can. Because I don't put any sugar in, so it doesn't mask it. Okay. Do we have any questions here? So, no questions? We're just going to look at each other and drink our beverage. Morning. I can sit here all day. I mean, it's up to you guys. But I know you're just waking up too. Some of you, it's already late. If you're in India, that must be 12:30 already. And Europe must be about 7 or 8 or 9 in the evening. And Pacific West Coast is just about 11:45. Anand says, I had a bad breakup with my GF. It's been a year now, and I've not been able to move on. The question is, why? Why have you not been able to move on? Why? You're the one who decided not to move on, perhaps because you thought it's a sin if you move on. It's an indication that you disrespect the love that you had for your GF. It's you've turned it into a taboo to move on. So whatever your mind, your thoughts actually command you, when your mind commands you to do something or believe in something, you actually follow it. So change your mind. You want her? You don't want her. It's all in here. There is no mystical power that she has, or the world has given you certain kind of a mandate to be true and loyal to this relationship that you had, because that is you. No, that is not you. That is your desire, your hormones, your belief that this, you have to be loyal to death so you can then have respect for that love. Because basically you're just all infatuated with her, and you probably still, think that that was the right thing for you. How could it be the right thing if she's left? The right thing is when both sides want to be together. If one or both or one decide doesn't want to be together anymore, that's not a right thing. That's a wrong thing now. You just move on. No sense grieving about it. Nobody has died. Everyone is healthy, going about their business. She chose that way. You respect that. But you respect yourself too. You live your life. Be happy. You're entitled to it. You're not supposed to be just watching somebody else to be happy and thinking that by you being in that mode of, sulking and sobbing, you're expressing your love and devotion. Why should you express your love and devotion to someone who doesn't do the same? Why? For what reason? Because you have a desire to be with her, to receive pleasure. Find somebody else that you receive pleasure from. Give your love to somebody else who deserves you because she reciprocates that loyalty and that love. I don't care what kind of relationship you guys had together, how long and how good and how loyal you were together, how loving you were together. That was then. This is now. The actuality is now. Whatever this is, that's how you behave accordingly. You can't say that she spits on me, she doesn't want me, she wants to go on with somebody else, she wants to have a different life, so that is her right. But yet, I want to be just, have an illusion and perception and living my life as it is now with the idea of how it was then. So you've separated your mind, because you're in then, and when you're in your memories, memory is the past, so you're in the past, so memory is then, so you're in the then, that's your mind. And as you know, your entity of us is made out of mind and the body. So now your mind is in the past, is in that illusion of how things were then, but your body is here. Your desires, your needs, your energy, everything is here in this moment, the present now. So you separated your mind and body, therefore you cannot have equilibrium. You cannot have balance. You cannot reach happiness, because happiness is when there's a balance. And the balance is when the mind and body both are in the same place, same moment of life, negotiating life and the challenges and opportunities together. That's the total power of it. That is total manifestation of your power. But if you have your mind in the past, wishing how it was, thinking how it was, loyal to what is no longer loyal to you, then you are in a different time. So your mind is not in present, but your body is. But mind and body is now separated, therefore you're just walking off balance, living off balance, and unable to actually bring what you're here in this earth to accomplish and bring to yourself, which is accomplishments, advancement, development, happiness, hope, and then lead that and extend that to your friends and family and so on. And soon enough, you become someone who's looked upon as a loser. Loser is not when you don't have something. Loser is not when you lose a game. Loser is not when you don't win a game. Loser is when your mind thinks you're not good enough. And that should never happen. Why? Because every one of us is blessed and good enough. Why? Because we end up to be in this earth, in this life. We're chosen to be in this life. How we are chosen? Well, every time your mom and dad tried to have fun, it was over 300 million sperms that were produced. Out of that 300 million, only one could have had the opportunity to succeed and connect in the ovum, with the ovaries, and be born. You were that powerful one. You won to begin with. It was decided that you are the winner, and you prevailed. And out of that 300 million that was sacrificed, you were the only one, powerful enough, strong enough, lucky enough, that was born. So, you are the chosen one. And you are going to fuck it all up for a piece of someone who doesn't want you. Is that the kind of respect you have for the gift of life that has been given to you? Out of that 300 million, you were the champion, and you will lie down and give your life and your happiness and the future that you can create to what? Some perception that how it was in the past, and you want to still live in it. For what? For someone who doesn't want you? That's the respect you have for your life? For the opportunity that you have here to make a difference in this life? So, get up. Get up and change your mind. You liked her, she doesn't like you anymore, so you don't like her. You like yourself. That's the end of that. Simple as that. Hello, Ida. Good to see you. Now, Don asked, how did I make my drink? Simple. Cocoa powder and almond and coconut milk. Just a little bit in the hot water. That's it. No big deal. So, Ahmad, I hope that, Anand, I hope that answers your question and gets you fired up and realize what the reality is and move on and make a wonderful life for yourself, for the people who know you. Leave behind the ones who are not loyal to you. That's the end of that. Ida, you called me doctor again? No soup for you. Okay. Now, what else do we have? What else do we have here as a question? Or do we? So, hope that you guys had a good week, and hope things are going your way and you're sorting things out. And wherever you are, I hope you have a wonderful weather as we have here, which I actually really enjoy, this kind of cool weather. So, that's it. Pretty soon the hour will finish and we will say goodbye. So if you have any question on your mind, hopefully you have written something down for now, then let's have it. Oh yes, Jad. No, Michael, it could be anything. As I mentioned, our discussions roam around breakups, relationships, things to do with mind, thoughts, consciousness, desires, fears, ego. This is how we negotiate life, on the basis of the reaction of these contents of our consciousness to the challenges in the world. So you could ask a question about whatever it is on your mind that that is concerning you, and that would be fine. We'll address it that way. Ida says, I watched your video on YouTube where someone tried to move when someone tried to move your body but wouldn't move. How does one connect the mind and body? Well, that is explained in detail, Ida, in Me, My Psyche and I, the book that I wrote, Me, My Psyche and I. In the chapter, I think it's called Mind Power, it's called Meditation. I think Mind Power, Willpower, Mind Power, something like that. If you go on my site and look at the table of contents, it will show you that table of contents. But how it's done, that is maybe one day I will do a session for meditation, and then perhaps if it's a place where I can demonstrate something, then I can teach you all how powerful your mind is, to the point that it will change the law of physics, and 1 minute a bigger person can lift you up, and the second later that same person with the same mass can't budge you. And that's a simple way to show that you're more powerful than you think you are, and most of the power in your life is in your mind, not in your body. Your body's power is very good to train it, be fit, but it's always limited. The mind power and abilities is actually why we stumble and we can't accomplish something, or we can, depending on which side, which direction we allow this powerful mind to encourage us to doubt ourselves, encourage us to believe bullshit and negative thoughts, encourage us to fail, or encourage us to reasonably be logical and move forward with the best of our abilities. So, so Michael says, can thought bring us a real thing? Oh, you didn't hold back, did you? For example, money, people, or new job. Oh, I see, in that way. I thought you meant out of thin air. So, which I don't know, maybe that's possible too. But, however, well, to a big degree, yes. Because how is money coming? By your efforts, your wisdom, your perseverance, your the plans and efforts that you put into a plan to make it come to fruition. But all that needs mind power, willpower, intention, and sticking with that and continuing relentlessly, perseverance. All that needs your direction, the direction of the mind, the thought, to command it, to stay on it. It's no different than anything else you want to accomplish. Unless you put your mind to something, you can't accomplish anything. So obviously, the thought can have a lot to do with how you achieve what you want to achieve. If you don't believe you can, then obviously you will fail, because whatever you want to do, the mind does it first. If you want to go the other side of the room, the mind goes first and then your body follows. Your body doesn't go first and then your mind follows. Your mind goes to the other end of the room and the body follows. Always body is catching up with the mind. That's why it's very important for us to have mind and body coordinated. So then through that we manifest our total power. So if you then believe that you can do this and you prepare for it to, not just keep sitting and wishing hamburger, then you get a hamburger. No, you still got to go buy the ingredients and cook it, but you have the intention of making a good hamburger and focusing on it and following your recipe and so on and what it takes. But keep your intention and attention on what you want to do, fully focused, so the quality of what you're trying to do and produce would be as good as it can be. Then you have a better chance to accomplish it. This is how you can use your mind into it. Otherwise, it's not like some kind of a hocus pocus and okay, then I got the job. No, you got to do your things and have that positive attitude, the confidence and information that you've gathered, and go on with confidence and do it. I remember when I was a salesman, which we all are, even still, when I would want to go into a meeting, for whatever I was selling, computer systems or whatever it was, I would always had learned to send my thoughts, positive thoughts, in the office, in the meeting room, before I arrive. It's like you send thoughts in the room. It's like you send someone to sweep the room, clean all the garbage, and clean it up, and make good fresh, and open the windows, have fresh oxygen and everything, and the atmosphere is great, then it's like a freshly designed with a little bit of maybe fresh water on the grounds, and then cleaned up, and everything is shiny and clean. No garbage, no bad feelings, no nothing of that sort. All positive environment. So you send your energy into the office first with the good intentions, happy intention, positive intentions, and then you go in and conduct your meeting. That would make a big difference. Then you just feel gloomy, and that negative energy, you go in and you extend and express no confidence, no solutions, no energy level, high energy level. So that affects the person who wants to add you to their team for their success. Yeah? It's no difference than you see an athlete who wants to come and take part in your team to help you win a race, a track team, and then he's just walking like this and his head down and nose hanging out, and then he's not in a good mood, he's not happy, he's not hopeful, he doesn't think he's going to win. So if he doesn't think he's going to win, he's not going to win. Because if the mind doesn't believe it, the body cannot perform. The body cannot deliver, because it's always waiting for the mind to direct it. As simple as that. I mean, I'm not in favor of the fact that people beat each other up in the ring of boxing or whatever. But most challenges in the ring is decided before they go in the ring. Depends what kind of a mentality one enters into the ring. That has a lot to do with the outcome, because the mind leads the body. So have that in mind, then you should have a better chance to accomplishing what you want to accomplish. You're welcome, Michael. It's a balance, Ali. It's not just the mind should be practiced and you neglect the physical fitness or physical activities and physical efforts. It should be a balance, mind and body coordination. There's a big chapter on the books that I've written, Me, My Psyche, and I. I recommend that book. It's a good book. You have a chance of paper version of it on my site or Amazon's, or you can have the e-book version. On Amazon it's only e-book. On my site is e-book and the paper. Of course, if you wish to purchase that, I recommend you go to my site. It's much faster and quicker, clear, through PayPal, and it's all done. Now, let's see, do we have any more question here? No. So I guess you guys are having lunch and talking to me. You're busy. You can't write questions. All right. So are you telling me that you waited for a week and you didn't write a question down, and now you're scrambling? What am I going to ask? What am I going to ask? Whatever you want. But I thought you would have a week to think about what it is that it would need some kind of a second opinion. And then, so here we would have lots of questions. Sometimes we have questions coming out of our ears, one after the other. And then sometimes we're kind of sitting and watching, looking at each other. Jad says, what you can recommend for the overthinkers? We discussed that in one of the other talks, and I have made a question and answer out of that. So if you go onto my channel and search for overthinking, I think that will come up. Because I don't remember how it was a lengthy, maybe, an answer. So maybe you can do that. So we'll go on to the next question here. Ellen says, just saying hi from Norway. Hello, dear. Thanking you for last week. My pleasure. Good to see you here. Armin says, can you tell us more about yourself? There's not much to tell, really. That shouldn't be really much interest to you because it doesn't do anything for you. I want to do something for you guys. So if you have a question, ask me. If you want to know a specific, then you ask a specific question about what it is that you want to know about me. I'm more than happy to tell you. But nothing extraordinary here. Just I'm 61 years old, 61 years young, and I went to school in Portland University, Lewis and Clark. I live in Canada for the past 37 years. I was born and raised till I was almost 18 in Iran. I love horses. I have won many championships in my time, equestrian, training, jumping with horses. I was fortunate enough to be one of the students of the great master who graduated from military school of riding in Saumur, France. And he was a very, very strong and positive influence role model for me. My father was number one role model for me, and Colonel was amazing role model because I spent lots of time with him through my childhood, training horses and learning and competitions and all that. And I'm so grateful and honored that it's wonderful that every one of you finds someone who is a role model at an early age and then form your roots around proper principles. So you have strong roots in life, and these winds and thunders and so on will not approach you so easily. You know, I believe we are all like, you know, we can use this analogy of, let's not be a log that has fallen on the river and is being taken by the river water anywhere that the river takes it. Because in that case, the river can take the log to the banks where there's shrubs and dirt and garbage, or hit it here and hit it there, or influence it with any kind of quality of water that is passing over it or taking it, or just covering it up. But let's be, instead of a log in the river, to be a tree with roots in the bed of the river. So this water, no matter what quality it has, it cannot take it with it. It has to split open around this tree. So the water is coming, the tree is in the bed of the river, and the water has to split open, go around the tree, the trunk of the tree. And the tree absorbs what it wants and doesn't pay attention to what it doesn't, because it decides what is absorbed, what not. And it doesn't go hit in the banks and the garbage and wherever the water wants to take it. So that is like us in the society. If we don't have roots and principles and understanding of what is not, to understand our thoughts and consciousness and desires and fears and ego and how they interact and so on, if we don't know how that whole thing works, we are like that log that is being taken anywhere by the river water. We are like in the society and communities will affect us in any shape and way they want. We'll be influenced by them because we have no roots. We're like that log. We're taken by the society movements and the influences, and we're impressed by anything and anybody, and we have not much of a control because we haven't established a strong root and understanding how things work in our heads and what we should and what we should not be influenced by. And instead, if we have roots, we'll be like that tree, strong and standing our grounds, and we're choosing which part of society, which people, which activities we will participate, which we will not. And that is to have control in life, because you cannot stop the river from flowing. You cannot stop the societies and communities do wrong things and people being involved in wrongdoings and bad mentalities, bad behavior, and everything else, whatever it is that is negative out there. You can't control that. But what you can control is to which one of these things you would be involved with, which you would be influenced with, which you would absorb, which you would not, and let it just simply go away on its way and not pay attention to. So in turn, let's be that tree. Remember, we said that we cannot control the movement of the waves of the ocean. We cannot stop the ocean's wave. We cannot stop the waves in the ocean to flow, to move. But what we should be doing to become a wise and an experienced captain, so we can keep the balance of our boat despite of the wave, and so we won't capsize. So we can't control the waves, but we should be able to control and be able to keep our balance, whatever vessel we are directing and the captain of. And that's control. Control is not to stop the waves. We can't do that. Control is not stop the wind to create waves. The waves cannot control the wind from blowing, and we cannot control the waves from flowing. But we must be able to be experienced enough to be able to, wise enough, react and act enough, decide properly, so we can keep the balance of the boat that we are rowing in, we're sitting in it, from capsizing. That keeping balance is the name of being in control of your life. That's how you control life. Otherwise, the rest of it we have no control on. Now, Ida says, how does one deal with negative thoughts with relation to life problems you don't have control to change? We just responded to this, I guess, Ida. You can use that for this. So, and also it's important for you to learn how your consciousness is put together, and why is it that you're acting and reacting the way that you're saying in the face of these challenges. You think you should behave this way, you think you should react this way, you think it should be that way, but are those thoughts have any credibility to them, or are they just thoughts and conditionings through your society and where you were raised and how you were raised, that you're supposed to behave this way in this situation? But who says that you should? It's a conditioning that makes you behave and react in a certain way in face of certain actions or certain situations. But should you? Or you're just following what program has been instilled in you since childhood? This plus that should answer your question for now. Michael says, what do you think about neuro-linguistic programming? Does it work? I think we responded to this question again in one of the longer versions of videos I have. I don't think its title would be neurolinguistics, but if you will, just see if that answers your question when we talked about how to delete memory, and see if the synaptic nerves and what we talked about in that would satisfy your question. If not, the next time ask me, I'll be more than happy to discuss it in the context that you're asking. Ali says, is it cheating if you're having side fun if your partner's already pulled away? I think you can always justify anything for yourself and perceive things the way it would benefit you. So in order for you not to have that question, simply finalize it with your partner, one way or another. Then with clear conscience, go have your fun. But having something hanging over your head that did the partner actually broke up or not? Because what you're doing really, you're using that certain specific situation, perceiving it to serve your purposes because you want to go out with someone else. You want to have another girlfriend or another fling that night. So you justify it. Oh, she's not paying attention to me. She's pulled away. She doesn't want me. So might as well I don't lose it. Well, why don't you simply man up and talk to her. Say, look, what are we doing? Are we done? Are we no longer interested to make it work? Have we lost our harmony? Have we lost our compatibility? Have we lost interest? Is there something that you and I think we should, we should preserve or, try to mend? Talk it over and see how you guys feel. If you guys don't have that anymore, it had its duration. That duration is finished, like everything else, physical in this life or everything else has a duration for life. So if that life of that relationship is over by understanding it between the two of you, then, give each other your blessings and go on and start another relationship or fun or whatever it is that, you may wish to do. Otherwise, don't create a question in your head. Why would you? What's there? What's the deception for? You're deceiving yourself, not her. She would maybe not know, ever. So that's what my recommendation would be. Russell says, hi Mehran, glad to catch you live. Hello Russ, good to see you dear. My pleasure, Ida. You're welcome, Michael. Prince, timekeeper, where are you? What time is it? Where is Prince? Somebody in West Coast. What time is it? There it is, 12:19. Okay, we got another 10 minutes, so perhaps we can. Thank you, Alex. So thank you, Prince. Thank you, Alex. My pleasure, Ali. So 10 minutes, we have maybe a couple of questions we can answer. Otherwise, we will wish you a wonderful weekend. And tomorrow I have another live talk at the Amazing Things in the World, which you guys will see the post on my Facebook. I hope you all have you all are sharing the videos that you like on your social media, so people will know about the YouTube channel, and so we can increase the subscription and people will know about my work, and also that there is help and support about these issues that may challenge you on day-to-day basis. My pleasure, Ida. It's good to see you here always. Well guys, if we don't have any question, so we end it today, and I wish you guys have a wonderful week to come. And remember, tomorrow I have another live talk at the Amazing Things in the World. Again, I will put the post up on the Facebook page of mine where you are right now, so you can see if you wish to participate. If not, till next week, I love you all. Take good care of yourself and the others, and be good to yourself and the others, and we'll see you later. And take care again. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you, Russell. Bye for now.